trying to hold on.
Oh, there it is.
There
okay,
it is.
We're live.
There it is. It's like, oh my God. Yeah. Like I'm trying to remember how to do it. It's like, I don't get it. It's like we've done this for like 3 years and we're off for a couple of days and like we don't know where the buttons are.
I don't. I really don't. You know? It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
And then I overslept.
Oh no! Yeah, well, you keep telling Alexa to shut up, and you keep forgetting why you set your alarm.
Look, this morning I didn't even tell her to shut up. I swear to God, none of the alarms went off, not even on my phone. And I'm like, what the hell? But the good thing is I have something that is always faithful.
What?
Anxiety.
Oh no!
Yeah, dude. I wake up with raised cortisol levels and shit. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Good morning, y'all. It is August 16th, 2024. It is a fucking Friday, and notifications are not going out. I don't know what the fuck anymore.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's like, look, we're lucky we're even live today. It's like there just came a point where it's like, okay, you know what? I skipped way too many shows. I need to get on the air. So if people find it, they find it. If you're seeing this on the replay, welcome anyway.
And if we're just going to talk to ourselves for the next hour and a half, so be it. So be it.
Exactly. So
it's comics. I'm sure there's something to talk about.
Oh yeah, there is. There's stuff that I've been holding on to for the past several episodes. So
a grudge.
Well, that too. But
I got grudges. You ready?
Absolutely not, but hit it.
Trigger warning. Fuck you.
Good
morning, Nita. That's definitely the mood for today. That's for sure.
It really is.
Oh my goodness. So who's risking joining us in the chat today on this very volatile Friday? Hello, Ronan.
Hello. Welcome to whatever the fuck this is going to be.
Oh no,
we're so out of the habit.
All I can say is that we are definitely living up to the name of the show today, or at least that's how I've been feeling. It's like, look, it's like if we're both not raging, I definitely am raging. So I've been raging for the past couple of days, but you know, hey, that's how it goes, right? So yeah, so notifications seem to be like slow out there. So you know, so it's like So like I said, it's if you're joining us on the replay, welcome. If you're joining us today, welcome. You know, and yes, I see you, our beautiful eyeball people watching us from regions beyond. Thank you so much for joining us, like I said, on this very volatile Friday. If you're joining us from Facebook, if you're joining us from LinkedIn, come on over to YouTube, join the sexy people in the chat. And it's a lot easier to converse on YouTube. You know, Facebook has a habit of acting up, and LinkedIn, I have no idea what's going on with LinkedIn. Oh, life of it. Yeah, I know. Hello.
Good morning.
Hello.
I don't know what the fucking deal is. Like YouTube goes back and forth. Like sometimes it's good about sending out the notifications, and then sometimes it just doesn't want to do it. And I'm just not in the mood.
I know. It's like I just find it funny how it's like, wow, those notifications really do wake people up. You know, it's like, oh wow, because it's like, because I could always tell just hello, just from the numbers, like if whether notifications went out or didn't go out.
Yeah, because it's like they creep.
Yeah, you know, so it's like oh my goodness. So I guess we might as well get this shit show on the road.
Let's do it.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, and you know what that means.
You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
And I am known for the furry fantasy adventure Tall Tales, which returns to Kickstarter later this year with the first trade paperback of Tears of the Mother, the first trade of this limited series. It collects issues 1 through 4 of the 8 issues of this story arc. So that comes later this year. And I am known for the furry fantasy adventure. Jesus
we
Christ.
ain't never gonna get this right.
I can't even read my cue cards correctly.
Medieval fantasy soap opera drama.
Fantasy drama, Eager Raven, Air the First Unicorn. Which thank you everybody who supported the campaign. All the books are out except for 4. I'm just waiting for something to come in the mail so I could finally pack up these last 4 packages. And this campaign, it will be completely done. Thank you so much for everybody who supported it. So keep an eye out for the next Eager Raven returns to Kickstarter early 2025. Also talking about Kickstarter, House of Bob returns is coming back to Kickstarter Monday,
already
August 19th. House of Bob, the first definitive sketchbook, along with Mondo Bondo, my furry fetish sketchbooks, comes back to Kickstarter on Monday. Also, if you've ever wanted to get any type of commission from me, this is the campaign to do it. I have all sorts of levels that includes original artwork, both random and customizable. Whatever you want, you can pick it up at this, on this campaign. So the pre-launch, it is on pre-launch right now. Link is in the show notes. I forgot to put it in the chat. And just sign up for it. Thank you to the 40 people who have signed up so far to get notified when this campaign goes live. So like I said, it is going to go live Monday, August 19th. Of course, on the show, we're going to do a little bit of live campaign run on it so you guys can see what's on it, but link is in the show notes. And so like I said, click on that so you get notified when the campaign goes live. In the meantime, you can read both my comics online at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, and Tall Tales, TAILS online.com. And you can check out all my videos on how I make my comics here on YouTube at Daphne Lage, LAGE Art, which also simulcasts through the Indie Comics Network. And to tell you more about it,
it's indiecomicsnetwork.com. It's on YouTube. It's my channel. I got friends on it and stuff. And we talk about comics. And my name is Nita, and I'm a marketer for several small press publishing companies like Ethereal Comics, Altera Comics, Lone Wolf Comics. Yeah, I gotta wake the fuck up, man.
Yeah. So where can we find all that?
indiecomicsnetwork.com.
It's .com. Cut.
Oh my goodness. So you're still kind of like, no, I think I've been officially up since 3 a.m.
I've been up for like 25, 30 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
But it's cool though, because the alarms didn't go off. C set them, but I got anxiety. So like I have the raised cortisol levels in the morning, and it's like, so I open my eyes every morning and it's like, fuck, what am I late for? And then it's like nothing, because I can always depend on the fucking anxiety.
Right.
And then it's like I got to go through the process of waking up. It's like, is life worth it? Maybe it will be after coffee.
Right. Yes.
But stretch first. And because if I don't, these cortisol levels are only going to escalate. And then it's like, fuck, I'm tired of this. What is this? And then I got to wake up, and it's like, lazy bitch, get up and go get the coffee and pee, and you'll be okay. And it's just a vicious cycle.
Well, but I mean, you did make it to the show on time. So
I did, but I can't wait.
No, I was just seething in rage at 3 a.m. But the thing is, unfortunately I cannot go into much detail about it. But if it's one thing that in the end, if anyone was wondering or even noticed that we pretty much skipped 2 shows, and so far I have skipped 3 draw streams in a row, and there might be a 4th one I might have to skip. yeah, it's like I have some shit on this end going on. And, and for a little bit, it was getting in the fucking way, and
It still is.
It still is. But I mean, it just got to a point where it's like, okay, you know what? Being on YouTube is, even though I work from home, even though I joke that I don't have a job, I'm doing, it's like I'm just drawing my comics and trying to mind my own business, right?
Right. Like you do.
It's like, yeah, it's like, life gets in the way, and there's that initial scramble to try to accommodate stuff, right? But then it's like there comes a point where it's like, okay, you know what? I can't allow this to completely put to a halt everything else I need to do. Because the shit that I'm dealing with is turning into its own full-time job. And it's just, I am not happy. I am not fucking happy about it. But, but it is what it is in the end, right? I mean, it's like, when we're, and the thing is, this is just something that it can happen to anybody, maybe not my specific thing, but anything can get in the way.
Oh, it does.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like, we really have to figure out, like, in the end, it's like how everything has to work with each other.
Right.
For everything to work. Because it's like, in the end, it's like, no matter, I mean, because it's like, look, if I had an actual 9 to 5, yeah,
fucking 9 to 5, I couldn't do it.
If I had an actual 9 to 5, it's not like I would have been able to go to that boss and go, hey, bro, it's like, I can't come in any, like I have to skip these days because I have to deal with this or that and the other thing. I mean, if I had days off or PTO or whatever the fuck, maybe I would be able to get away with that for a little bit. But there just comes a point where it's like, look, we're hiring you to be here. Right. So, whatever nonsense is going on, I mean, that has to be done on your time, you know? So on a certain sense, it's like, I'm glad that I don't have that obstacle to worry about, but at the same time, though, it's still, I still have to like go out of my way to make sure that I'm finishing what I'm supposed to be finishing.
Right.
It's like, look, I have a Kickstarter starting on Monday, right? I have, Eager Raven, I have 4 pages left to to complete the layouts pencil stage, and the lettering stage of the series, right? After those 4 pages, the series is this story arc is completely done. And then I just have to worry about inking and coloring, right? So, but the story itself, the comics itself is complete. So that's a goal I need to finish so that I can start preparing the individual issues for Kickstarter, starting maybe around in January, February. I mean, I really like to get issue 9, like up on
out, right?
In January, honestly, because it's like what I want to do is like I really want to run like at most 6 campaigns next year. So I got to get those books together. So this whole thing coming in and trying to railroad everything, it's like, okay, I got to take care of it. I have no choice in the matter, right? But at the same time, I cannot let it completely dictate the rest of my schedule, because the annoying thing about it is that it's a lot of little things that I have to kind of like, do throughout the day. But if I put them all together, it's a lot of stuff. But at the same time, it's also part of a waiting game. So it's like once I make appointments, then I have to wait for those appointments. It's like, okay, this is done, this is done, this is done. It's like, oh, this person has to meet this deadline, and that person, has to do this and that, so it's more like, it's more coordination. So once I get the initial coordination done, then it's like, okay, now I can go back to doing my other stuff.
Right.
you know. Although the funny thing is that technically you can use that pattern in the reverse. Like say you're trying to do a comic while you do have a 9 to 5 job or whatever is whatever is demanding most of your time. And then it's like you have to figure out how to coordinate what you need to do so that it can fit in that main part of your schedule, right? Because it's like, because on one hand you need the flexibility, but on the other hand you still need to get the work done. So even though I don't have official deadlines, I really do,
right?
Because it's like it's like, look, it's like, yeah, I have to keep these books rolling,
It's almost worse because, like, I'm sitting here thinking about it, and it's like if it was on a scheduled 9 to 5, if I had a scheduled 9 to 5, I'd be worried about, times that I had to deal with the shit that you're dealing with and whatnot, whatever. But now there's more of an accountability because I'm not on that schedule.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. No, you see, and that's the funny thing
it
too.
Just sucks all around.
Yeah. Because that's especially what's kind of like really getting, that it's not that it's getting under my skin. Technically, this is something that I would have had to have dealt with anyway.
Right.
I mean, it's just that, look, it's kind of like you hate paying the bills. They come in every month. It's the same fucking bill.
It's like, why y'all got to be so consistent? Nothing else is.
You resent paying that bill, but you have to do it anyway. But you still resent it. It's not a surprise, right?
Oh, shit.
So, Go
ahead. Keep talking.
So technically, I mean, this was something that eventually was going to have to happen anyway.
Right.
There was never going to be a convenient time for it. Never. There was never going to be, it's like, well, if it had happened like 5 years ago, if we had done something a year and a half ago, it was never going to be convenient. It was still going to be a pain in the ass. It was still going to be a fight. But, in the end, it is what it is. I got to do what I got to do. And, and I just got to juggle everything else that goes with it. But enough about that, though. About that. It's like, because the vagueness is killing me, but I cannot, but you know what? I can't go any further than that. But so because of the stress level, right? So I've just like, I would try to do as much. Yeah, I know, really. It's like, who said that, right? Even though it's like, I try to squeeze in, doing the pencils and trying to finish Eager Room. Like I said, I have 4 pages left.
Squeeze in.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we're going either way. It's cool. Like,
right. Depends on what you're into. Oh my goodness.
Take both.
So at least, so I ended
Michael.
up just having to like I really desperately needed like real moments of quiet. Where I wasn't drawing, I wasn't on the phone with people, I wasn't like there just came a point where everything became a stressor. And it's like I just had to getting just kind of like okay, I kind of need to feel like I'm resetting. It's kind of like I feel like this constant between the comic, between the nonsense. It's like, okay, I need an actual thing that makes me feel like I'm resetting.
I know a thing that makes you feel like you're resetting.
Well, I needed a little bit more than that.
Then somebody didn't hit that button hard enough.
Well, you see, but that's why I read about other people doing that.
Jesus.
So I just I had a pile of books that it's like, okay, I have this sitting here. Let me just finally start going through them because I really need to turn my brain off. right? So, of course, what's the best way of turning your brain off than with a little sci-fi smut? So, I picked this book up after it was being like highly recommended on Book Talk, Ice Planet Barbarians. And this book is pretty infamous, right? For, I guess, being really smutty. And I go, you know what? Fuck it. I need something. I just need like something to like a palate cleanser. You know, I don't want anything heavy. I am not reading no Cormac McCarthy. I am not reading no Brett. I mean, I need something that it's like, what was ironic is that I've always had a disdain for like cozy books. Yes, it's all the questions. All your questions are valid out, Allison, when it comes to this book. You know, it's like I've always had a disdain for cozy books. Now I understand why they exist. You know, because yeah, it's like, look, yeah, it's like I'm not going to read no Cormac McCarthy to unwind. I am not going to read no historical biography to unwind. That is not unwinding to me. That right. is, you know, very stressful, you know, especially Cormac. He writes very, very stressful books. So I had enough of that, you know?
Right.
So on Book Talk's suggestion, I picked up Ice Planet Barbarians. And yeah, it's pretty much just a book about this woman who's kidnapped by aliens, dumped on an ice planet, and how she ends up with a ice navy barbarian boyfriend. And like 90% of this book is them fucking.
Oh, well then.
You know, it's like that's just what it is, you know. And it's just like the big guy, you know, he's a big cinnamon roll. She's trying to find her way, you know, in this new planet. And it really helps when you're with somebody who can find your G-spot with his tongue. So that's how I've been relaxing. And it's a whole series, you see.
With his tongue? With his tongue?
Yeah. So it's a whole series, you see. So I'm unwinding. Right? So, you know, so Jose's caught me reading the first book. And he goes, literally, he had to say the name out loud. Just to like, really, that's the name of the book. And he goes, it's trash. This is a trash book, right? This is garbage, right? And I go, absolutely. But you know what else?
It's my trash. It's my garbage.
You know what else is trash? Anything by fucking Fritz Lieber, okay? This is just as trashy as this shit, okay? Right. So everybody calm the fuck down. Okay, just because, you know, it's like, icky, this is for girls and this is for boys, and this is obviously more serious because it's about two dipshits that go on adventures together, you know. Well, this is about two dipshits that go on adventures together either, except they're fucking. Which do you think I like better right now? So yeah, so this is the other book. So I'm going to try to finally read this before I read the other book in
Hey, Brain. Good morning, Brain.
You know, but it's like, yeah, but this is both of these. These are trash. Conan is trash. Cull is trash. It's all trash. It's called Pulp Fiction for a reason. It's all trash. It is not literature, okay? So everybody calm the fuck down when it comes to my reading habits. So, but you know, but this is, yeah. So this is how I'm. Yeah. This is how I'm unwinding. I'm unwinding. Damn it! This is how I unwind.
You look like you're
relaxed.
unwinding.
Can't you tell I'm relaxed
so
right now?
Fucking relaxed.
But out of everything, though, I was so happy. At least I had a spark of happiness during this whole period of nonsense I was going through. So the first day, I think it was like the first or second day that this bullshit started happening, I was just like so out of my mind livid. I was so out of my mind livid that I was just like, I have to keep myself from stress shopping. You know, you ever get that? You get like so angry or whatever that you just start stress shopping, right? And which is how I got these books. But so I decided instead what I was going to do was I was just going to like, I don't know, do some research on some conventions. It's like, like, I don't know. It's like actually there's something that happened. That's something that I ended up reading that I was trying to save for a previous show that I'm going to get into on this one. So I was looking up some information about some different conventions, and on a lark, I decided to go to the Monsterotica page. Remember, it's like that's the Fucker for convention, and the tickets sold out within like 5 minutes, and I completely forgot about it. And I was just like, it's in Baltimore next year. I went to the page and I noticed in the corner that there was a price, that there was like a number, which was a price. And I go, oh, that's weird. Let me check. Right. Because also the sold out button wasn't red anymore. So on a fluke, I just clicked on it. They had one ticket for sale. And I got the ticket. So I was so happy. It wasn't exactly stress shopping because I had wanted this ticket anyway. And the whole idea was to go. So for those of you who don't know, Monsterotica is an erotic monster novel convention. They're going to have all of these authors there who writes, even her. She actually, the author of this book is going to be there as well. And it was just something that I had, and a lot of artists are going to be there too. There's several artists who specialize in that type of artwork, monster boyfriend artwork. Let's just put it that way. They, so I decided that it's like, you know what, maybe considering like where I'm trying to take, Ego Raven and the fact that I'm writing novels as well. It's like, maybe this might be an option for me as a convention to go to. So I had applied for a table. They rejected me because it's like, oh, we're not, your work doesn't seem to fit our thing, because I don't cater to that market, believe it or not. So it's like, okay, fine. We'll figure it out. So, so I had wanted to get the ticket, missed out on the ticket. Now I have the ticket. Yeah. So now it's like, I'm going to be able to see firsthand what the convention is, how it functions, and what I would need to do in order to fit in at this show.
For science.
No, for real. No, really. That's exactly what it is. I joke, but one, it really is a monster fucker convention. And two, it really is for research, right? Because this was something, because several weeks ago, I don't remember if it was I was talking to you, but I kind of had an aha moment. I had an epiphany, right? About marketing. And the whole thing where it's like, why is marketing so frustrating? Why is it so hard? Why is it, it's like, it's like, why is it that it feels like, it's so much like it's work in and of itself, right? Well, what if marketing isn't supposed to be hard? What if marketing is actually supposed to be easy? What makes it hard is that we're not in front of our audience. Right. So that was something that really got burned into my head. What if our problem with marketing is not the marketing, but the fact that we're not doing marketing in front of the people we're supposed to, because in the end, all of these marketing books, in the end, it all boils down to your products should be selling themselves. You know, it's kind of like your fans should be selling your books for you. So if technically the end goal of marketing is for me to not do this shit, why is it so hard? Right? Why is this difficult? But in the end, it's because I am not in front of the correct audience. I'm not in front of my audience. You know, now I'm not saying that people who are fans of my stuff in the audience right now, it's like, no. It's like, I'm supposed to be in front of you. You're supposed to be there. Right. But what I'm talking about is the audience as a whole. The audience, like on Kickstarter, there's something missing. Like, I feel like I've reached a ceiling in both Tall Tales and in Eagle Raven, that it's like I've had, even though I've said that consistency is good, there's a fine line between being consistent and being stagnant. Right? So that's the part that was kind of bothering me. Am I consistent or am I stagnant? You know, because
that's some heavy self-reflection right now. I'm not ready for this.
Well, right. Yeah. But the thing is, though, like, as a creator, we have to do that. There comes a time where you have to look at how your campaigns are doing, you know, what kind of numbers you're getting. And you have to sit down and ask yourself, do I even have an audience? You know, am I even in front of the right people? Is my book getting in front of the right people? You know, because it's like, if you're running a campaign and you can't even make $1,500, you know, or it's a struggle to get to $1,500, because, you know, just to remind everybody, between $1,000 and $9,999, that's 75% of Kickstarter right there. You know, so it's like, so that's kind of your median right there. So your median is in that section. You know, so even if you're making $1,000, welcome to the club. You're like the rest of us, right?
Right.
You're like 75% of us.
You're average.
Yeah, pretty much. You're average. Right?
Nobody, you know, but the thing is, though,
no, nobody likes to hear that they're average. Everybody's special. Everybody's above average.
Or sometimes it's even worse when you find out you're below average. Way off topic, but let's go on an ADHD tangent.
Oh, okay.
So Randy made a post about the average penis length being size of your thumb, and I sit here and I think I got these big old balls and stuff. But do you know that my 3.5-inch penis that I would technically have it kind of hurt my feelings.
Well, like, but the thing, I
would be disappointing all the bitches.
I thought it was 3 times.
It's 3 times. Well, so shit, I'll be packing 7. Uh-oh. Never
5
mind.
Is average.
Never mind. We're good.
Well, I read that 5 was average.
Well, okay.
Right.
I feel better now.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I read that 5 was average.
Okay. So back to comics.
Right. So yeah. So, but that just goes to show there's nothing wrong with being average. You know, it's like average works, right? But when it comes to comics, though, average is fine. Remember, it's girth, not length. So it's
well,
so it's so average comics, right? So, like I said, it's like there comes a point where it's like, okay, so are you consistent or are you stagnant, right?
Right.
And especially if like every campaign is beginning to feel like a struggle, you kind of do have to self-reflect, like, okay, what's going on, right? And honestly, dollars to dimes, your main problem when it comes to kind of like struggling on Kickstarter or anywhere is that you're not in front of your audience, or at least you're not in front of enough of them to make the marketing easy, right? So, okay, before I go, I'm adequate.
The whole purpose of the show is to make you think,
right?
Like,
yes.
we have, like, if you're not thinking, we're not doing our job.
Well, right, yeah, because it's like, because in the end, it's like we do have to self-reflect on what we're doing. Okay, so okay, so it's like, it's also, there's so much stuff on Kickstarter. How can you stand? I think 3 inches is average sleeping. Yeah, I think sleeping. Yes, I think that's
Well,
average sleeping.
I'm good. I'm good because
Right, we're fine. No,
I would
there
be a
is
full
yeah,
7.
right. Look,
Full
there is
7.
a lot of stuff on Kickstarter. It's like, look, it's like every time you click on what's live on Kickstarter, there's about like 200 and something campaigns live at any given time for comics.
Right.
Right. But again, if you have an audience, it doesn't matter. You see, that's the thing that kept eating at me, right? Marketing is not supposed to be hard. If I had an audience, this is not supposed to be hard. You think Polito thinks that raising 6 figures is hard? He makes that within the first 10 minutes of opening a campaign, right? So if you have an audience, selling your books to them is easy. Do you think Coca-Cola finds it difficult to sell their product? Do you think, it's like, do you think a beer company, finds it difficult to sell their product?
Not even.
Rolls-Royce has never taken out an ad for their product ever in the entirety of their production. Rolls-Royce. There is no such thing as an ad for Rolls-Royce, because their fans, their reputation sells the car. Everybody knows what a Rolls-Royce is. Everybody knows what a Rolls-Royce stands for. We all know that without one piece of advertising. If your audience wants your book, you don't have to struggle selling to them. They just buy it.
Right.
Not only do they just buy it, they sell it for you. They create the reputation that you need that sells your book for you. That's why you can say till you're blue in the face, oh, I think it's a good story. I think I'm writing a good story. I think I'm writing a great story. I think I'm writing a brilliant story. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear that from you. They want to hear it from people who read your book. That's why that whole social proof is so important. It's not for me to say whether my book is brilliant. It's for my fans to say that.
Right.
Now, the problem is, do I have fans saying that? Do I have enough fans? Because in the end, it's still a numbers game, right?
Right.
So in the end, that's why I was looking at conventions again, right? Because it's like, okay, if I'm not in front of my audience, then where am I and where do I have to be? Right? So that's why in the end, I'm looking at book fantasy, like kind of like either fantasy book conventions, which is also something I should probably look into, fantasy book conventions and fantasy romance conventions, and something very specific like Monster Erotica Con, right? Something very specific. It's like, because a lot of the artwork, because especially at this convention, a lot of the artwork that's being showcased there is very similar to mine. They love these kind of like cartoony covers. So why could I build an audience there, right? Another thing that I was thinking again is, you know what? I need to get back to anime conventions. I need to get back into anime conventions. It's like, honestly, especially between Eagle Raven and Tall Tales, Eagle Raven and Oswald, especially. That just feels like that's where our audience feels like they are. But the thing is, ever since they went to a lottery system to get booths, even if you're an exhibitor, it's like we haven't been able to get in, and there just came a point where we stopped trying. But there actually, it might be time for me to really start making an effort again, especially since 2 of the best anime conventions on the East Coast is in Washington, D.C. And then what's funny is that there's 3 more romance novel conventions in Washington, D.C. as well. And, like I said, I've mentioned, like, my sister lives in Baltimore, and that's a commute. That's just a simple commute to her. So it's like, so here we're talking about a potential of 5 conventions that I could go to try to see if this is where my audience is at. Right. Now, another,
and who's to say, because it's not what you do is not exactly the same. Your audience has to be fucking curated. You're going to find some from here, some from there. It's don't go into it with the idea of, oh, this is my place and these are my people, because
right. Yeah. But you see, the thing is though, is that I need that data to make that decision.
Right.
I need that basis of comparison. Like I know San Diego is a much better, like San Diego, I have a bigger audience in San Diego than I have at New York Comic Con. That I know for a fact. It's just that San Diego is really complicated to get to, so I need to have, so what it is that I need, and then there's Anime NYC, which is in the city as well. I think they just recently, no, actually I think Anime NYC is coming up. I was actually thinking of buying a ticket to go there just to check it out. It's at the Javits Center. I might still do that. I have to see if they have a ticket of it. Last I checked, they only had like Friday and Sunday available. But I would have to check. But in the end, that's what this is. Like, it's all data collection. I never know what it's data or data. Is it the same thing?
I think it's tomato, whatever.
Right. Yeah. I would think so.
Except crawfish and crayfish, because that shit is bullshit. It's crawfish.
It's crawfish.
It's crawfish. It's spelled crayfish, but I don't give a fuck.
Oh, I see.
Crayfish is Yankee bait, and Yankees anything north of I-10.
Right. Yeah. It's like Houston and Houston.
What the fuck? People say Houston?
Yeah. In Texas, it's Houston. In New York, it's Houston Street.
In Texas, it's Houston too, Daphne.
No, I heard that it's Houston. That's actually Houston, or is it Houston? Is it Soho that's Houston as Houston? And
are you learning your dialect from Channing Tatum?
Probably. Most
God.
It's just like we went to Kentucky. Where did we go to? Louisville. And I had a guy up my ass go, it's Louisville.
Louisville?
Louisville.
It is Louisville.
It's Louisville. It's Louisville. It's Ronkonkoma. It's Ronkonkoma. That's how you know how old I am. I remember the movie phone guy going Ronkonkoma. It's pronounced Ronkonkoma.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, so there you go. So y'all know that. So data. I have to collect the data from all of these conventions to know it's like, okay, it's like, yeah, that's true. Like I could find audience here, piece of audience here, piece of audience there. Right. But it's like I said, I still need to try these conventions in order to know that for sure. That's why it's Houston.
It's Houston. Houston.
No, he's talking about Houston Street in Soho. It's South Houston Street.
How's it spelled?
Huh?
How's it spelled?
Like Houston.
Then it's Houston. It's Houston. It's Houston.
You know what? We'll take you to Houston Street.
You ain't
We'll take you there. And then we'll just sit there staring at the sign, debating its pronunciation. Where was I? Oh, yes, the audience. So that's why I know for sure.
Houston, we have a problem. Thank you, Allison.
Exactly, right.
Fuck.
So that's why I know for sure not to bother with New York Comic Con, right? Because we've been there so many times. There's nothing about New York Comic Con that will ever convince me that that's a good show for us. We've been in the artist alley, we've had tables, we've shared exhibitor space, and I will never see an artist alley table at that show ever again. That is, they're never going to give an artist alley table to me at all. So that's out of the question. And what's even more out of the question is spending $1,700 for a booth, because it's like, no, we barely made money when we were paying $300. When we were paying $300 for an artist alley table at New York Comic Con. So at least I know our audience is not there.
Right.
So that's kind of like the theory that I'm kind of going on. So so because of that, because I'm kind of like, okay, it's like, all right, so it's like, let me see where the anime people, okay, so the anime heads, maybe that's something, the romance heads, right? And then I started rethinking my plan for like being on websites like Webtoon and Tapas and Global Comics. It's like, where it's like, like I'm uploading my stuff serialized on a platform, on a comics platform, as opposed to just like leaving it on my website. Because it's like, so those are like the main three that I'm looking at. I already opened up an account for, I'm starting to upload my stuff to Webtoons. Tapas is next. And then, Global Comics, eventually. So, yeah. So that's something that I knew that I thought that my plan would be, the only way I would be on Webtoons is if I gave like an easy way for people to buy my comics. And it's like, you know what, there isn't, instead of like waiting for the perfect moment, I just said, okay, you know what, fuck it, let me just start putting stuff on Webtoons, let me start putting stuff on Tapas, and then it's like, just try to get that water boiling, so yeah, so I started putting stuff on Webtoons. So if anybody wants to know, starting on Tuesday, August 20th, I will start serializing Eagle Raven, Air the First Unicorn on Webtoons every week. So every Tuesday at 7 p.m. There will be a new chapter, a new episode of Eagle Raven on Webtoons. Will it work? Will it don't work? I don't know. It's just to see what's going to happen. All I know is that I did make sure to read the terms and services, that it's like they only want a piece of the IP if you're on contract with them through their originals line. Right. So if you're on Canvas, you can do whatever the fuck you want. They don't care. Because also if you're on Canvas, they allow you, because it's like, oh, this is just our free service. You can broadcast on other places as well, the same comic as well. So that's that's the experiment I'm doing about, like, okay, like, because if you look at like the top comics on Webtoons, I'm like, wait, theoretically Eagle Raven should fit in there somewhere, theoretically, right. I should have an audience. I should be able to build extra audience there. Will they convert to Kickstarter? I don't know. Will they buy my books off of my website? I don't know, but I'm not going to know until I try it, right? And I'm on there for a long enough time. All right. What did Imagino say there? What did Imagino say? Going back. Yeah. Anime cons are funny, as they are mostly stickers, charms, prints, and cosplay. They don't treat manga or comics with a ton of love. There was an incident at Anime Expo in California. I think it was last month, where some editors from Japan were kind of saying the same thing. Like, they couldn't understand. It's like, where's all the American manga?
They came looking for American manga, and America disappointed.
Yeah, pretty much. Like they couldn't understand. Like, where was the kids making American manga, So yeah, that is an issue. But at the same time, though, the rebuttal that I was hearing from that, it's like, oh, well, we would love to make manga, but we have to do prints and stickers and keychains, and charms to make money at these shows because they're so expensive.
Right.
Because you got to remember, what I ended up reading was that in Japan, these conventions for I guess like amateur for like doujinshi and amateur comic book creators in Japan, they're very inexpensive. It's like a table's like $50 or something, like the equivalent, right? It's very inexpensive. So you go to these conventions to share your manga, and it's like, and they said that pretty much like the only prints or keychains that you see there are just limited edition items related to the manga that they're selling. There's no fan art in the sense that we know it. Technically, there are fan art doujinshi that they sell there, but it's not like, oh, people are just selling prints of. It's like, oh, do you have a Goku print or something? I don't know, whatever the fuck the kids are in nowadays. I am so.
Nice.
Yeah, imagine it's kind of weird. I used to not be able to sell for shit. Lately, I've been selling Judah Fist like hotcakes and getting subscribers for the web comics. Yeah, it's, what it is? Ever since Final Fantasy and Disney got together and created Kingdom Hearts, that's when I noticed the switch in anime conventions. Because before, anime conventions were all about, oh, it had to be this, that, and the other thing. And if you're an American animation, fuck you, you don't belong here. The second Disney, and I think it was Squaresoft, that they made Kingdom Hearts, all of a sudden, it's like, now it's like, look, as long as your shit looks good, we don't care if it's at an anime convention. I mean, it's just really funny to see that. So in the end, like, that's why I'm saying that anime conventions have changed so much over the years that maybe it's time for me to reconsider these conventions again, like to reconsider that audience. But yeah, unfortunately, like doing this type of navel gazing is kind of like starting from scratch all over again. I mean, unfortunately, that's what it always feels like. Like, I could never get any traction in this bitch. But I mean, it's like, look, it's like if you're gonna do your book anyway, if you're gonna do your story anyway, the experimenting in audience and trying to find your audience is not going to kill you.
Right.
But the thing is, though, that is something to think about. Like if your numbers are super stagnant, or, you can't figure, why is the marketing so hard? It's like, that might be something for you to think about, that it's like it's because you're not in front of your audience, and you have to find out who your audience is and go sell to them. And once you find your audience, it's going to be a lot easier. This should not be hard. Believe it or not, this should not be difficult. It's like you said, Nita. It's like navel gazing is not something a lot of people want to do. It's like their egos do get in the way of it, saying it's like, it's not you, it's the people that's wrong. And that's not how that works. I'm not saying changing your product to cater to an audience.
No.
What I'm saying is you can't be the only person that enjoys what you do. Right. That's impossible. That cannot be a reality on any planet. It's like, look, even 1 in a million, what was that thing? 1 in a million in a global population is still 7,000 people.
Yeah. There's 7,000 people.
Right.
There's no original sin.
Right, exactly. So so it's just like, okay, so where are these schmucks? I have shit for them. I have shit for them to buy that they want, but they don't know exists. So that's kind of the goal that I have lately.
Right?
Before I forget, issue 7 of Ego Raven broke me as a person. I loved it. You're welcome.
I didn't speak to her for 3 days.
Yeah, no, it was bad. It was bad. It gets worse. It gets worse. It gets worse. But vengeance. Uh-huh. It will be bittersweet. But technically, Nita gets to find out when she gets here.
Oh, really?
Well, because I'm only 4 pages away from finishing.
Oh, so are you gonna read to me?
Well, we'll see.
What do you mean we'll see?
We'll see, because it's a comic book.
We put Lorraine to bed. You come get in bed with me. Read me a bedtime story. We have Captain there. It'll all be good.
Yeah. So so we'll see, because reading a comic out loud is kind of weird.
No, it isn't. It's especially cool because there's pictures you can show me.
Right.
Jeez, fuck. It's the simple pleasures.
It's the simple pleasures. Yes, it is. But yeah, so technically, yeah. So by the time you get here, this is going to be done. Oh, if anybody wants to see,
which is like I leave in 17 days.
Yeah.
Jeez, man, time just went.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, for real. If anything that I learned is that when you're having fun, time really does fly. When you're in a misery, that clock does not move.
Huh.
And that could be happening at the same time. Oh well.
Give us a moment.
Yeah, give us a moment. Yeah. So it's like, this is issues 9. Yeah, so this is issues 9 through 16 and a half. Well, no. So half of 16. So it ends at like halfway point at issue 16. But I have four more pages left, because there was a bridge between the first half of the book and the second half of the book that I'm finally closing, because I was working from both ends. Technically, I was working forward and backwards at the same time.
Oh shit.
Manga snobbery is still there. Most of these folks think if it ain't from Japan or Korea, it's not real manga. Yeah, they're stupid. They're just stupid. Manga just means comic in Japanese. That's it. Oh. They call Marvel Comics over their Marvel manga. Why? Because manga means comics in Japanese. So, it's like, look, I understand the different, here's the thing with that word, right? When I say the word manga, I am specifically meaning of a certain aesthetic.
Yeah, same.
That manga is it's I'm talking about the aesthetic of a book, because it's like, look, when I say manga, nobody's thinking about a Spider-Man comic. Okay, that I know. When I say mainstream comic, just like when I say mainstream, people are thinking Marvel and DC. When I say indie, I don't know, what do people think of? They think of Image Comics, I guess. But I'm talking about us, like
Dynamite, Boom,
or it's like or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? So it's like these words, even though it's all comics, there's a certain aesthetic that each word represents. When I say bande dessinée, right? Those are French comics, but they're just comics. It just means they're Franco-Belgian comics. Again, it's like it's a certain aesthetic. Manga is an aesthetic. That's really what it is. When you say the word manga, it's like, okay, I'm expecting it to look a certain way.
Right.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's from Japan. It's like, look, actually one of the fastest growing markets for manga is for actually manga inspired, like Japanese inspired comics, is in France. That there's a lot of collaborations between French artists and Japanese companies and Japanese companies, but they're still manga.
Right.
So the snobbery, it's like we just have to it's like, okay, whatever, it's like, because in the end, it's like, who are you arguing with? Like a 14-year-old? It's like, come on. It's like, oh, that's not manga. It's like, okay, kid, fuck off. You're bothering me. It's like, in the end, that's all. That's how you could just take it.
Manga. Since today's all about enunciation, right?
Yeah, exactly. Manga. Manga means sleeve in Portuguese. Olha meu manga, olha, tá dobrando meu manga. So, so it's like, I don't know. It's, I don't know. Oh my goodness. I'm exhausted.
That's because we're so not used to doing this shit. We so easily step out of routine.
We really do. We really do. I mean, it's like, look, and not. It does get it is very easy to get used to not streaming, but like I said,
it is.
it's it's like the realization though is that this is just as much a part of the marketing. Oh yeah, I saw that one. Oh, what was it called? The Glassmaker?
Yeah.
No, that
so.
no.
Hold on.
No, I think the Glassmaker's from Pakistan, but no, but it yeah, I think I've seen, yeah, there's several, yeah. Yeah, and they all got that like Studio Ghibli style going. It's really funny. Imagine, says, that, and I know that, but the vast majority of mangaka believe that, and we are trying to get these fools money. You know what?
So it's the competition thing. God, that is so common with fucking create. I'm so over it.
I mean, I'm not. Yeah, in the end, I'm not really concerned about kids. Oh yeah, you don't say that in the United States. I'm not concerned about 14-year-olds arguing a ridiculous semantic that hasn't existed in the last 25 years. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's like, it's just, there's some battles that they're not even worth thinking about because it's ridiculous. It's like, okay, and just move on. Just say okay,
and move on.
Sometimes that's the only answer. Just okay. Unfortunately, I wish I could have just done that for my problems. Like, okay, and move on. But that's not how that works. But
AI is the future. Okay, I'm the next Image Comics. Okay, I'm okay.
Yeah, you know what? Save your peace. Really, save your peace. It's not worth arguing. So do you have any final thoughts on any of this, Nita? Jesus, I feel like
not on this, but like there's so much awesome shit happening right now. Let's see. So Cretaceous Biohazard issue 2 launches tonight. Dreamweavers launches tonight. That's Jose's book. Bro, I finally looked at some of those covers. It was like, oh my goodness.
It's a good batch. It's a
good batch. I think you guys are going to be like both shocked and surprised and well pleased.
I hope so. That's yeah.
I mean, there's just, god dang, there's a lot going on. But I'm so hungry right now. All I can think about is that salad bar that I need to go figure out what I want.
There you go. So let's
I'm creating my salad in my head.
Oh, there you
go. Doing
the
iceberg lettuce, spinach. I'm gonna use those little Chinese noodles, those little crunchy ones, fucking sesame seeds and sunflower seeds and beets and red onions. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
I really need to get
I
the
just
salad
ate,
bar.
or that would have made me hungry too.
I really got to get to the salad bar.
Oh my goodness!
Shit.
Yeah, really.
Actually, I slept through breakfast, so
well, that's why you're hungry, because you just came straight on here.
I did.
So I want to thank everybody in the chat for putting up with us today. I want to thank everybody, our beautiful eyeball people watching us. Thank you so much for sticking around with us on this Friday. That hopefully will go better for me today. I mean, it's still going to be a long road, but hey, we got to do what you got to do, right? Oh my goodness! So we will be back on Monday. We'll just be back in the habit of it. Just to give everybody a heads up, Wednesday I might not be able to do another draw stream again. I know that makes it about, I think, like 4 weeks in a row I haven't done a draw stream, but I should be back later on. Later on in I should be back. Yeah. Either the last week of August, or we'll just start again. We'll just start
when
fresh.
The notifications come in. Daphne will be there.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to learn more about me and my artwork and everything else going on, and maybe what conventions I'm going to be at when I finally get that sorted out, you can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites, but I mostly post to Facebook. If you're interested in seeing sketches and current work in progress and whatever live updates I may have. And remember that you could also find me here on YouTube as well for over 600 videos of how I make my comics and previous draw streams. And if you missed any of our vlogs, that's all in. And thank you so much for the 1,040 subscribers for joining me on the channel. Thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, but you still watch me, what's keeping you? Just press the button. It's for free. Don't worry.
Touch her button. She likes it.
Yeah, exactly. And remember that you can also catch me on my semi-weekly art live streams Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. Like I said, depending on how the rest of this month goes, I might just have to start again. We'll start fresh in September with new draw streams. Hopefully by then I could finally get that Tall Tales cover finished. Jesus Christ. And remember, you can read Eager Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, for free, uploading every day, Monday through Friday, and also now on Webtoons, starting on Tuesday, August 20th. You'll be able to read the series from the beginning on Webtoons. So let's see. So if you are reading me there, make sure when it does pop up, make sure you subscribe and give me all the eyeballs or whatever the fuck it is that puts that you give to comics on Webtoons. Whatever you need to do to make the algorithm gods happy, please do it when Eager Raven premieres on Webtoons next Tuesday. If you prefer your fantasy to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the link over to Tall Tales, TAILS online.com. And not only can you read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free, but you can catch up on the latest story arc, Tears the Mother, which is also currently uploading Monday through Friday. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And in the words of the ancients, eat your food, moisturize, mind your business, and do the work, because when you actually do the work, you never have to fake any of your accomplishments. Thank you so much again, and we'll see you next time.
Toodaloo.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.